Welcome to the BAASS Connect 2021 Sage X3 Distribution Overview session. I am Hitesh Dani, Solution Architect for Sage X3, and in this session, we will take a look at general overview of Sage X3 distribution capabilities. Here are some of the things we have heard from our customers who are in distribution business. Challenges with inventory control and visibility, challenges with margin management, managing sales pricing and promotions, barcoding and scanning to avoid or eliminate human errors, bin tracking, being able to track items at lot, sublot, and serialized level, and being able to process effective quality control. In some cases, items have been shipped that have either not gone through QC process or were on hold, and that resulted in fines for some of these customers before coming to Sage X3. We will look at and touch upon some of these issues and how Sage X3 takes care of them. In the end, we are going to look at item traceability and then close our session by looking at some of the dashboards that are available from Sage Enterprise Intelligence. Let's take a look at Sage X3. Being able to look at item attributes is very important as we start to go deeper into distribution and manufacturing. An item must be managed in stock. Although we are not using lot management in this demonstration, we will use it in the next session. You can track an item, make a lot mandatory, or track an item at a lot and a sublot level. You can also serialize an item. Looking at the sales pricing functionality, here is $5 base price for this item. Minimum price for this item is 450, meaning the system will not let you put a discount that reduces the price below 450. The purchase price for this item is set at $4. When we look at product site, this item is classified as class A. It has non-changeable control, meaning when you receive the item, it will have a status Q, and you must pass through quality control using this technical sheet before you can change the status to A or R. Sage X3 also supports sampling. If you wish, you can take advantage of sampling process as you go through the quality control. Here are some of the locations and the default locations that are available at various stages in the life cycle of receipt and shipping process in your warehouse. When we look at planning, there are a number of factors that you can consider. Most important factor being when you go through requirements, should you use MRP, MPS, reorder point, or periodic statistical method for processing requirements for this item? And when you do find requirement, what would you like to do? We would like to create a purchase order. For the purposes of this demonstration, we have removed safety stock, reorder threshold, maximum stock, and changed the EOQ and technical lot to 1. You can set these values and the requirements engine will factor these values as appropriate. Let's take a look at our visual process map. Previously, we have already seen how to process a sales quote through purchase approval, through sales quote approval process. So we are going to bypass that section. We are going to go straight into a sales order. And we are going to create a new order. Customer is NA009. Item BMS007. Quantity of 10. As we tab out, Gross price is $5, discount is 5%, net price, cost price, and margin. Changing the quantity to 100, my net gross price becomes 10, which was a mistake when I was setting my pricing engine. I'm going to change it to $5. Discount is 10%. Net price is 450 and my resulting margin. We change the item to 200 units. System will give us an error telling us it will not let us go through because the price now falls below the minimum price that we set earlier. Changing the price back to 10, we accept and create the order. Now when we look at the line item, there is a shortage of 10 units. When you click ordered quantity, system tells you there is no available stock. That means we must go through our MRP engine. It's going to be fast. The MRP engine basically looks at your demand as a combination of sales orders and forecast. We have a forecasting engine in the system that you can use, or you can use the forecasting module from Sage Enterprise Intelligence. Either way, your demand consists of your sales orders and your forecast. Your supply consists of whatever you have in inventory or whatever you are receiving from your suppliers. Depending upon your stock parameters and depending upon what you have in stock, system will suggest that you generate a purchase order. So when buyer looks at the buyer's workbench, system saying you need to order 10 units. Buyer wishes to further understand how this is coming to play. You can go to the planning workbench. System tells you there are two sales orders in place. One's already allocated, it's waiting to be shipped. Another sales order is generating this demand. If you had multiple items, different items that you could order from the same supplier, you could go to a grouping workbench, create a single purchase order with multiple lines. But here, since we only have a single line item, we are going to take the option to plan an order, could create a purchase request, and optionally push it through a purchase request approval workflow. But instead, we are going to create a purchase order. Purchase order is created. Ready to receive this item. You have a choice. You can use the standard X3 screen, or you can use our barcoding screen, which is the automated or advanced data collection, the barcoding module within Sage X3. I'm not using that module. I'm mimicking that module through a screen. I'm going to paste the purchase order and I'm going to scan my item. Having scanned the item, system defaults to the values from purchase order. We try to change the status. System is going to give an error saying you cannot change the status. It must be queue until you go through the quality assurance process. Defaults to the location that I need to bring it in. And by bringing it to this location, if you keep it physically separate from area where you pick your products, this is one way to ensure that you don't end up shipping items that need to go through quality control. As you bring in this item, system also generates a label with barcode that clearly states that this item has a status queue. We generate our receipt, and just to make sure it's done, I'm going to take you through my X3 screen and show you that this receipt was created. Now we are ready to go through the quality control step. Instead of launching the quality control process from here, we are going to look at the inside. We are going to refresh our OpenQC query And here is the item. Sage X3 would normally share this information with your warehouse manager, who can then launch the analysis request from within the dashboard and start processing this item. This quality sheet is put together just for demonstration purposes. You can do variety of things here. You can put a range, you can put free form, you can put numbers, you can put a pick list. But here are the two questions that we are asking. They have been answered. I am ready to continue with the process and accept this particular item. 10 units, defaults to status A, change my location to different location. Now we are moving it to a storage area, defaults to location store 1. As I save this item, you will see the item move away from the analysis request list. Save the item, it's moved. We are ready to process our sales order. Go to the Visual Process Manager, go back to the sales order. Now system can automatically allocate this order the minute stock becomes available. But for our demonstration, I decided to turn off that particular setting. So I'm manually allocating the order. The order is now allocated. We are ready to either prepare or deliver the order. For our demonstration, I'm going to take the option to prepare this order, which will create a pick list. Everything you see me do here manually can be automated through the system. So MRP can be automated, printing your labels can be automated, going through your preparation list and generation of pick tickets can be automated. We are simply going through the process to demonstrate it to you. I now create a pick list. Here is my pick list number. And as we go back to our insights and refresh our open pick tickets, you see that the picker has also been notified that there is an open item that needs to be picked. We go back to our pick ticket, mark it as deliverable. Now you can go through the packing process or you can simply go through and deliver it. This step would typically be done by your shipper. I'm just going through the process to continue the journey. We are now in the delivery screen. And as we go through the delivery screen, we can put date, time, and save. The minute we put departure date and time and save the information, system marks this particular delivery as scheduled delivery, and it will now show up on the scheduled deliveries calendar that you have seen previously. Optionally, you can print bill of lading. You can print a number of documents such as your picking slip. You can also print your certificate of analysis from here if you require that. And now we are ready to put this particular package on the truck. We click validation. Package has physically left our premise. If you click invoice, you now launch into the AR process and go through creation of invoice, posting it, and then payment processes. We just completed our quote to invoice process. We are now going to go back to our visual process map and look at some inquiries that are available in Sage X3. One inquiry that is available in Sage X3 is stock by product. I'm going to use a product that uses lots. The item is Fin 301 jalapeno bin dip that you have seen me use multiple times throughout the day. Click search. Wrong product. We need to use fin 302. I'm going to change my product, redo my inquiry, and we know that we have total internal stock of 446 and we have allocated 80 units. To find out more information, we go and we look at available stock. Now you have a whole bunch of information available to you. Your total allocations are 80. If you go to work in process, these are the sales orders that add up to 80 units that you see as allocated. You can launch any or all of those sales orders from here. If if you had demand, if you had forecast in the system on a weekly basis, you would see those forecasts coming here as part of your requirements at the top. So your requirements would consist of any sales orders that you may have in the system that aren't allocated and any forecasts that you may have in the system on a weekly basis, total allocated, total on order, total available. So therefore you have 450 available to promise and you can keep seeing this information week after week. There are many information or inquiry screens available like this within the system. Now you don't have to go to an inquiry screen for you to be able to do that. If you are in sales order, when you go to a specific line, you have the ability to go and look at stock by site. And from stock by site, you have the ability to launch detailed stock and other stock transaction inquiries, including available stock. So everything you need to do is at your fingertip when you are working within Sage X3 functionality. Another thing that we need to look at is traceability. For an item to be traced within Sage X3, it must be managed by lot. In my previous demonstration, I used an item that wasn't lot managed. So we are now going to look for an item that is lot managed. Fin 301. This item gets produced in different locations within our organization throughout the world. So I'm going to pick the item lot that was produced in North America, NA021, and click display. You notice that system is taking some time to bring up information about this particular item because there is a lot of information that is being processed. We have customer shipments. 15 units were shipped to this customer, Cisco Supply, and they were shipped using this shipping number. If you wish to launch it, you can do it from here. 335 units were shipped to NA005 using this shipping number. So now you are looking at forward traceability in terms of where were these items shipped, who were they shipped to, and then from here onward you are looking at backward traceability. So now you realize that you actually received 650 units from a work order, but that work order consisted of a raw material item, and that raw material item had further tree coming down and so on. If you keep going backwards, you will eventually realize that you had some receipts coming from your supplier. So this is the supplier, Cargill Corporation, 900 pounds of lard that came in, and this is the receipt number. You can launch that receipt from right here. So when you look at traceability in Sage X3, especially from a recall perspective for a lot, or lot managed or serialized item, you have complete traceability in terms of what receipts came in, what was produced or manufactured, and what was shipped. We have already looked at journal traceability in the system, but if we go back to a sales order, if we go back to the line, and if we look at the line status, for every line, you also have information available in terms of which pick ticket was used, which delivery note was used, what invoice was number was used to create the invoice. And obviously, if you look at journal traceability, you know the progression from an order to pick ticket to delivery to invoice. We are now going to change our focus and move to Sage Enterprise Intelligence in terms of some of the information that SEI brings to you. Here is inventory management dashboard that consists of top 10 products by quantity, daily production worksheet, production cost, and order fulfillment. This is your procurement dashboard, and this is your accounts payable dashboard. When we go through the SEI session later during this Sage X3 track, you will see more detailed information coming on how SEI provides detailed information from Sage X3 and provides more meaningful insights for you to start making informed decisions. We are now going to switch back to our PowerPoints and look at a quote from Mark Lefebvre, Vice President and CIO of Ganong Bros. We achieved a full return on investment by the end of the first year through labor savings and improved accuracy. We are now open for any questions that you may have. Should you have any question in future, please do reach out to me, hitesh.tani@sage.com. Thank you very much for your time and interest in Sage X3. Wishing you a fantastic day ahead.